There are not many of the older kind of wooden buildings left on Hunnebergsgatan that once comprised the whole of Linköping. Those low wooden buildings were built like medieval farmhouses, with a stable for animals and a courtyard with surrounding planks. You are now looking at 3 wooden houses from the 18th century. The number of cows began to decrease around the middle of the 19th century, while horses continued to be around another 100 years, until the end of the Second World War. Both rich and poor lived on Hunnebergsgatan, but in the 19th century it was also a nest of vice, where people such as the infamous Clara Couleur sold their services. Branten's house of number 9 Hunnebergsgatan was a notorious beer tavern where loose women called Branten's Flowers plied their trade. It is not surprising that objections were raised when the secondary school's gymnasium should be built here and the boys be exposed to this dangerous neighbourhood. In 1750, Linköping's cathedral congregation was comprised of 1,822 people. 60 years later, the population had risen to just 3,000 people. Then it was understood that the 18th century was characterized by a very low increase in population and also continued into the beginning of the 19th century. Linköping was an administrative and ecclesiastical centre with a marketplace. Not much was produced here, and only a few artisans making products for local use, and no profitable exported trade, as in Norrköping. Welfare began to grow in the middle of the 19th century with the introduction of free trade. In the 1950s, Major Eskil Riddarstad wanted to build a new house, but instead of tearing down number 5, 7 and 9, Hunnebergsgatan, which he owned, he donated them to Gamla Linköping. In 1962, after some back and forth, Linköping town bought the houses and they could be preserved for posterity after an extensive renovation. Today, different artisans rent the property. Now continue along Hunnebergsgatan until you reach the customs house and Uncle Adam's house.